A game against the Green Bay Packers on Sunday night. It's a throwback weekend for the Steelers. Coming off a disappointing loss, Green Bay coming off a tight win in Arizona. So they're 4-1-1. The Steelers 4-2. Should be a tremendous atmosphere at Acrisure Stadium. Mike Tomlin is ready to address the media, so let's go to him now.
Good afternoon. Boy, really excited about Sunday Night Football in Acrisure versus Green Bay. But as always, I'll start with a quick review of our last performance. Although it feels a little stale, I hadn't had an opportunity to visit with you guys since. As I mentioned after the game, a couple, building blocks of the engineering of victory, man, that we didn't take care of, and I think that's why the game unfolded the way that it did. For us, we got to stop the run more effectively. We feel like that's a building block for us to play good defense, to get offenses in more one-dimensional passing circumstances, to get people in more advantageous possession down circumstances for us. Our inability to stop the run, I think, created that, and that was an issue for us. It really started kind of in the second quarter when Brown popped a couple of runs, and it kind of went on from there. It never felt like we had an opportunity to stabilize that component of the game. We had been trending the right way in that space for a number of weeks, but certainly last week was a setback in that area, and I really think it created an environment where we weren't controlling the game from that perspective. I think the same could be said on the offensive side. We turned the ball over twice, and really that hadn't been us. We've been really good at protecting and preserving the football, but if you get a couple turnovers and you're not stopping the run, that's just not a good posture to play from. We certainly didn't take the ball away, and so to be -2 in a hostile place while not stopping the run, man, is kind of a catalyst for losing. You couple that with the fact that we were highly penalized and had some significant penalties. I thought the false start on 4th and 1 when we were in the red area was a 4-point-like penalty. And in games like that, man, you just can't afford to have them. The ability to execute in that space in the red zone is significant, whether it's defensively in terms of getting stops or offensively finishing. And I think in the midst of that, when we got that false start and had to settle for a field goal, that was significant as well. And so, my perspective is things were going well until they weren't. We played about a good quarter of football, and then we didn't do a good enough job stopping the run or preserving and protecting the ball. We got highly penalized, and it made it an uphill battle from there. I will say I was really appreciative of the effort. I thought the guys fought their tails off, man. We made some plays, certainly on offense. I thought we had a necessary stop on defense there with about 5 or 6 minutes to go in the game to give us another shot at it. And so, just as a collective, man, I thought they fought, particularly in less than ideal circumstances, but certainly we came up short, and there's some lessons to be learned from that. As we move into this week, I'll quickly talk about some injury things. Calvin Austin is scheduled to work this week. We'll let his participation and the quality of that participation be our guide in terms of his availability. As we stand here today, we're optimistic, and I know certainly he's optimistic about his ability to be included. We had some bumps and bruises associated with play, but after a long weekend of rehabilitation, I doubt any of those are significant in terms of limiting someone's availability. It may limit the availability at the top of the week. We'll have some veteran players and things of that nature that we'll minimize a little bit tomorrow. But as we lean in on this game, I don't expect any of those things to kind of be an issue. Now let's talk Green Bay. First, I'll start with their defense. Got a lot of respect for Jeff Hafley and the work he's doing over there with those guys. They're fundamentally sound. They don't give up big plays. I think they're 3rd in the league in explosion run plays and 1st in the league in explosion pass plays. And so largely collectively with both, they're certainly number 1. They keep the ball inside and in front. They set good edges. They reduce the amount of grass that they have to play in. And in doing so, man, they make offenses operate in an effort to score on them. And so, you gotta be clean. You got to execute for blocks of plays at a time. You got to execute situational plays. You got to play penalty free. I think when you don't give up big plays, man, it creates all of those obstacles for an offensive unit, and they're certainly doing that and doing it at a high level. They've invested a lot in their edge people up front, and I think they've reaped the rewards of it. Man, they play behind that rush. Michael Parsons, can't say enough about him and his talents. You saw just the other day what he's capable of doing, and I think that's really indicative of the impact that a guy like him has. You better stay out of one-dimensional circumstances. You better stay on schedule. And in doing so, man, you really limit situations where he has an opportunity to take over. Arizona was in that game, but they had to take some risks there toward the end in an effort to pursue victory. They got somewhat one-dimensional, and guys like him, when you get in one-dimensional passing circumstances, they got an opportunity to really control the game, and he shut the game down with 2 really big sacks. And so we got our hands full, but not only with him, with Gary, with Van Ness. They got a lot of talent. They've invested a lot of talent and resources in that position up front, man. And they got a real good secondary. As I mentioned, man, they play well as a collective. They communicate well. They minimize big plays. Quay in the inside up front is a hub of communication. He's been in the league now for a number of years. He's an all situations linebacker. He's good versus the run. He's good versus the pass. He's a good blitzer. His blitz skills were on display last week against Arizona. I think he had 2 sacks in that game. The running back pickup component, excuse me, of blitz is going to be really significant if we want to, win those situational moments. Looking at Green Bay's offense, it starts with Josh Jacobs, and not only because of the circumstances that we're in, coming off of a subpar performance in terms of stopping the run, but he's just a catalyst for a lot that goes on with them. He's a nuts and bolts player, man. He's really good. He's got a great run demeanor. His pile almost always falls the right way from his perspective. We've been familiar with him. We played against him recently when he was in Vegas. He has just been a big-time acquisition for them. I think he's got 23 rushing touchdowns since they acquired him last year, and that's just a staggering number, but it speaks to, his involvement in what it is that they do. He's obviously the central component of their run game, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention his passing game exploits as well. His screen game, his ability to turn short to long in the check down game is really impressive, and so he certainly has our attention. Jordan Love and his talents and the way that he spreads the ball around to a variety of people, his ability to extend plays, his mobility, all the things that certainly has our attention. We played him in 23, and so we're somewhat physically familiar with that skill set, but we still got to make plays. His talents really thin you out schematically. His willingness and his ability to spread the ball around to a lot of people. Tucker at tight end is really significant. He gets down the field. They throw him tight end screens. He's big in their misdirection passing game. He's just a force within their offensive system. They got a young rookie Golden out of Texas that's increasing his participation with each passing week, and his talents are starting to show. I think Watson's been practicing, and so they may get Watson back this week. They got Dobbs. They got a complete repertoire of people to spread the ball around to, and they got a solid running game. And so certainly, man, we got a big week ahead of us from a prep standpoint. We got to be really good in situations. When you play people that are as well-rounded as this group, you got to get off the field when given an opportunity. You got to preserve points when given an opportunity to do so. The special teams component of the game is going to be a big component of the game. We got 2 old warhorse coordinators, man, and Danny Smith and Rich Bisaccia. I would imagine they've gone against each other quite a bit over the years. Worked with Rich, got a lot of respect for his schematics and how he distributes the labor in that space. And so expect that to be a hotly contested component of the game as well.
All right, Steelers Nation, buckle up and get ready, because today we're diving deep into one of the most exciting and strategic possibilities floating around as the trade deadline approaches. We're talking about the potential addition of veteran wide receiver Jakobi Meyers to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why this move could be exactly what this team needs to unlock the next level of its offense. This is more than a rumor. It's a calculated opportunity, one that could have ripple effects across the entire AFC. Let's start with what makes Jakobi Meyers such an intriguing piece. Over the past 5 seasons, he's been the definition of reliability. He's not the guy who shows up once every 3 weeks with a 70-yard touchdown and then disappears. No, Jakobi is the guy who shows up every single Sunday, runs precise routes, finds the soft spots in zone coverage, takes hits over the middle, and moves the chains. He's the kind of receiver who makes life easier for his quarterback, and that's something Aaron Rodgers would absolutely thrive with. Now look, we already know the Steelers have DK Metcalf on the outside, and his presence alone demands safety help and cornerback respect. But without a consistent second threat to draw coverage, defenses start to scheme around one guy. That limits play calling, it limits spacing, and it increases pressure on Rodgers to force throws that don't need to happen. Jakobi Meyers would immediately balance that. He gives you an inside-outside threat pairing. He gives you a target who understands leverage, understands timing, and knows how to get open even when the separation isn't perfect. That's exactly what this offense needs right now. And let's talk about situation and timing, because both favor the Steelers. Jakobi is in the final year of a 3-year contract. The Raiders are floundering. They're 1-5 and heading straight into a rebuild. Meyers reportedly asked for a trade before the season even started, frustrated with the direction of the franchise and stalled contract talks. He wants out, and he wants to play meaningful football. That opens a door for Pittsburgh to make a smart, aggressive move at the right price. This isn't just about numbers, it's about chemistry. Jakobi is the kind of player who fits the Mike Tomlin mold: unselfish, physical, disciplined. He's not going to throw fits on the sideline or demand the ball every play. He's going to block in the run game. He's going to be where he's supposed to be when the play breaks down. He's going to help this team grind out drives late in the fourth quarter when it matters most. Now, let's be real. Yes, there are some concerns. Meyers is currently dealing with knee and toe issues, and his production in 2025 hasn't matched his 1,000-yard season in 2024. He's still searching for his first touchdown this season. But what that actually creates is an opportunity. His value is slightly depressed. That means the Steelers wouldn't have to give up a premium draft pick. This is the exact kind of calculated risk that great organizations make, getting a proven player at a discount, filling a need, and adding a veteran who's hungry to win. And make no mistake, the Steelers need this kind of weapon. After trading George Pickens to the Cowboys in the offseason, the receiver depth has been tested. Roman Wilson is developing, Calvin Austin III is flashed, Scott Miller and Ben Skowronek provide role depth, but no one in that group brings the polished, veteran dependability of Jakobi Meyers. And in a division where every game is a battle, where defenses are elite and games are won in the final 2 minutes, having that extra chain mover could be the difference between sneaking into the playoffs or taking the AFC North crown. Let's not forget what's at stake here. The Steelers have already shown they can beat good teams. They're sitting in a strong position, but they also know that the second half of the season gets tougher. If the defense continues to give up yards in chunks, the offense will need to respond with longer, more consistent drives. Adding Jakobi doesn't just give Rodgers another option. It reduces risk, spreads out coverage, and lets the offense stay balanced, efficient, and dangerous in all 4 quarters. And in terms of locker room fit, this is a Mike Tomlin kind of guy. Smart, low ego, team first, high IQ. Everything about this move screams right player, right time, right price. It would show the rest of the NFL that Pittsburgh isn't just trying to compete, they're trying to win now. With Aaron Rodgers in the twilight of his career, this could be the exact piece that helps unlock one final legendary run. And Steelers fans, if you've been waiting for that spark to turn this team from dangerous to contender, Jakobi Meyers might just be it. So now I turn it over to you. What do you think, Steelers Nation? Should Pittsburgh pull the trigger and make the move for Jakobi Meyers? Is he the missing link in this offense? Would you give up a mid-round pick to land him right now? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if you believe in this team's potential, and make sure you hit that subscribe so you don't miss a single update from Steelers Nation Wire. This season is far from over, and the best might just be yet to come.